All right, let's talk about your body's own microscopic special ops team, antibodies. We're going to dive deep into how they were first discovered, what they're actually made of, and how this incredible army of defenders works together to keep us all healthy.
Our whole story here starts way back in 1845. It's not in some fancy high-tech lab. It begins with a really baffling medical mystery. A doctor, Dr. Watson, sends this curious note along with a patient sample over to his colleague Henry Benz Jones. He's talking about this weird stuff in the patient's urine that gets all cloudy when he heats it up. He had no clue what it was, but that one simple question, what is it? Well, that basically kicked off the entire field of immunology.
So that weird stuff eventually got a name, the Bence-Jones protein. And for decades, it was just a strange biological marker. Doctors knew it showed up with a certain kind of cancer, but nobody knew what it was for. They had no idea they were looking at a fundamental building block of our own immune system.
Then, the big breakthrough. Scientists figured out that in patients with a cancer we now call multiple myeloma, their bodies were just churning out tons of these Benz-Jones proteins. And what were they? They weren't whole molecules. Nope. They were just fragments, specifically the light chains of something much, much bigger. And that was the first huge clue that antibodies were these complex structures built from smaller parts. Finding that light chain, that was the thread scientists needed to pull to unravel the whole thing. And the main molecule they focused on to figure it all out was immunoglobulin G, or IgG for short. It's the most common antibody you've got in your blood, and it really is the blueprint for all the others. So let's just make sure we're on the same page. Immunoglobulin, or Ig, is just the scientific name for an antibody. All it is a super specialized protein that your immune system whips up when it finds something that doesn't belong, what we call an antigen. These guys are the key soldiers in the part of your immune system that fights in your body's fluids, like your blood.
And here it is, the basic blueprint. Every single IgG molecule is this perfectly symmetrical Y-shaped thing. It's built from 4 protein chains, 2 big heavy chains and 2 smaller light chains. Sound familiar? Yep, the very same kind that were first spotted as Bence-Jones proteins. They're all linked together, creating this Y shape with 2 identical arms, and each arm is ready to grab onto an invader.
Now, how they figured out what each part does is so cool. A researcher named R.R. Porter had this brilliant idea. He took an enzyme from papayas called papain and used it to literally chop the antibody into pieces. And it worked perfectly. The Y-shaped molecule just neatly snapped into 3 distinct parts. And those 3 little pieces told the whole story. 2 of the pieces were the identical arms of the Y. They got named Fab, which stands for fragment antigen binding. Makes sense, right? This is the part that does the grabbing. The third piece was the stalk of the Y, called FC, for fragment crystallizable. This part doesn't grab anything. Its job is to wave a flag and signal to the rest of the immune system, hey, get over here, we've got one. Okay, so IgG is our basic model, our blueprint, but it's definitely not a one-man army. Let's meet the rest of the team and see how this basic Y shape gets adapted to create a whole family of highly specialized defenders. So in us humans, we have 5 major classes of these antibodies. We've met the workhorse, IgG. Now we're going to meet the other key players, IgM, IgA, and IgE. There's also a 5th one, IgD, that acts more like a scout, helping to get the other immune cells ready for battle. All right, first up, IgM. You can think of IgM as the immune system's SWAT team. They are the absolute first responders on the scene. The moment your body sees a brand new threat for the very first time, IgM is the first antibody that gets sent out to the front lines. And get this, IgM is a beast. It's a pentamer, which is just a fancy way of saying it's made of 5 of those basic Y-shaped units, all joined together. This massive star-shaped structure gives it 10, count 'em, 10 arms to grab onto stuff. That makes it incredibly good at rounding up a ton of bad guys right at the start of an infection. Next up, we've got IgA. If IgM is the SWAT team, then IgA is the security guard at every entrance. It's hanging out in your tears, your saliva, in the lining of your gut and your lungs. It's the main antibody in all these places, forming a critical first line of defense to stop invaders before they can even get inside your body. And then there's IgE. Oh yeah, if you have allergies, you know IgE very, very well. This is the allergy specialist.
It's actually designed to fight off things like parasites, but sometimes it gets a little confused and totally overreacts to harmless stuff like pollen or dust. It latches onto certain cells and triggers that all too familiar sneezing, itching, and inflammation.
So we've got these different specialists, right? The first responder, the gatekeeper, the allergy specialist. But how does our body actually use them? Let's look at the numbers in our blood to see how this incredible toolkit is balanced. What's just amazing here is the difference in scale. I mean, look at that. IgG is by far the heavyweight champion of the bloodstream. It's the system's main workhorse. But then look all the way down at IgE. The amount is teeny tiny, almost nothing in comparison. And yet, as anyone with allergies can tell you, that tiny amount can unleash a massive body-wide reaction. It's a perfect example of function over sheer numbers.
So here's what to remember. Your body doesn't just have one defense. It has an entire arsenal. It's a whole family of specialized proteins, all built on that same fundamental Y-shaped blueprint. And the structure of each one, from its grabbing arms to its signaling stalk, is perfectly designed for its unique job in the fight.
It's truly an elegant and powerful system, this elite force inside all of us. But it does leave you with one final big question to think about. If our bodies really have this incredible, highly specific, and powerful defense system, why on earth do we still get sick?